Welcome to Flame Fed Homestead. My name is Jessica. If you are new here, welcome to the homestead. Thanks for stopping by. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. We're very glad you've enjoyed your time with us. Today, we're going to take some of our fall decorations that we have all over the place right now, and we're going to turn them into some really delicious treats. And in particular, we're going to make smoked pumpkin today. Let's get started. All right, we are ready to smoke our pumpkin. So first, I want to talk a little bit about the pumpkins that you can actually cook and turn into things. I know a lot of us think of our traditional pie pumpkins, right, as being ones that we can cook and turn into pumpkin pies, pumpkin bread, pumpkin cookies, whatever it might be. In reality, you can cook any of them. Even these little pumpkins that we always think of as decorative pumpkins, you can cook them. Take the flesh out of them and blend them up and turn them into delicious goodies. So the end of the season, we'll end up smoking or cooking probably all of our pumpkins. But today, we're going to start with our pie pumpkins. And what I like to do this when we're smoking them is I'm just going to break the stem off of them and then cut them in half and scoop out the seeds. So we'll try and break the stem off. So just break the stem off. We don't need that. All I've done for this to prepare it is just give it a nice good rinse under the sink, make sure there's no dirt on it, anything like that. And then we're just going to cut this pumpkin in half. It's kind of tough to get through. And kind of tough, especially pie pumpkins or sweet pumpkins. They oftentimes have really thick flesh inside. So that's kind of what the inside of our pumpkin is going to look like. We're going to end up scooping out all of these seeds and we're going to put them into a bowl and save them for another project. And then we can smoke the rest of it. So this skin is very thick. If you cut open one of like your big jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, right, the ones we always carve for Halloween, those are going to have a thinner flesh on them and you can still cook those as well. It just won't yield quite as much meat. So let's go ahead and get the seeds scooped out. All right, to scoop out our pumpkins, I just got a bowl that I can put the seeds and the flesh from the inside of our pumpkin. We have a big spoon to scoop it out with, and then we've got kind of a spatula to kind of like scrape the sides of it. And my 8-year-old is going to help me do this. This is a great activity for kids. She doesn't like the sliminess of the seeds. I don't really blame her. So she's going to wear gloves for this. I just have clean hands. That's what we're going to work with. All right, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Okay. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
All right, and this half is ready to go now too. It's nice and clean. So we're gonna cut one more pumpkin in half, clean out one more pumpkin, and then we'll start putting them on the smoker. How's that sound? You ready to do one more?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. You wanna break the stem off? Wanna try? Okay, go ahead. Grab the stem. Pull it off. Yank it. Yeah, keep going. Whoa! All right, are you ready to smoke our pumpkins?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so we just have a foil pan here. We like to buy foil pans in bulk at Costco. They only got like one size typically. It's a smaller pan. Occasionally they have the really big roaster pans. I probably would have used one of those for the pumpkins. But if you can't find foil pans at Costco that are the right size, you can't find the big ones, the dollar stores are a great place to look for foil pans. They've got an entire wall of foil pans. So this is one we picked up. It's relatively shallow, but it's nice and big. It fits on our smoker. And something that's kind of different about smoking pumpkin as opposed to roasting it in your oven is typically when you put it in your oven, you're going to put it cut side down, right? So you're going to leave the rind up and you're going to put the cut side down. When you're smoking pumpkin, you actually want to flip it up the other way. So you want our flesh to be up and our rind to be down. So I am just going to play Tetris with my pumpkin pieces, and we're going to get them, all 4 of them, into this pan, and we're going to smoke all of them together on our smoker. I have our RecTeq pellet grill preheated to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And we've loaded it up with pecan pellets. There's a couple different options for pumpkin. Apple's a really good flavor for pumpkin. Maple's also a great flavor for pumpkin. And so is pecan. If you're smoking with maple and pecan, especially if you're thinking to make like pumpkin bread or a, pumpkin pie or something like that, it just adds another layer of flavor that goes beautifully with pumpkin. So we are going to smoke these on our pellet grill at 250 degrees Fahrenheit using pecan. So should we go put them on the grill?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, we have our RecTeq pellet grill preheated to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have it loaded up with Traeger pecan pellets that we picked up at our local hardware store. And I think, are you ready to get our pumpkin on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it on.
Yeah.
Just be careful when you pick up your foil pan that you support the bottom of it. It can start to twist and warp on you just a little bit, but we'll get this on. We'll close the lid, and we'll probably smoke it for at least 2 hours. We'll check it every once in a while, kind of see if the flesh is getting kind of tender, right, fork tender. Looks nice and smoked, and once it's fork tender, we can pull it off and process it further. So we'll come back and check on it in a little bit. All right, it's been about an hour that our pumpkin has been smoking, so we're gonna check it. You can see it's starting to look a little bit cooked, but I can't get that fork into these pumpkins yet, so it's not quite ready. Some of it's getting a little bit softer. Maybe if you want, you can move these around as well. So maybe we'll turn the pan. What do you think? Should we turn it?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not too terribly hot. So we'll give it a good turn. All right, let's close it up, and we'll come back and check it in about an hour. All right, it's been another hour, so we're gonna check on our smoked pumpkin. And the bottoms of these are looking really good and soft. And the sides of them are a little bit hard still, not quite fork tender. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually gonna flip these over now. They've got quite a bit of smoke on them. So we're just gonna flip each of these over. And let them cook for a little bit longer to soften up those top edges. So we'll give them probably another 20 to 30 minutes, and we'll check on them again. All right, it's been about another hour. We did a little longer than we thought we were going to. So we're gonna check these smoked pumpkins one more time. Try and get one flipped over here. Yeah, that flesh is looking perfect, so they are ready to come off. So we're gonna take them off, we're gonna take them inside, let them cool off a little bit, and when they're cooler, we'll come and we'll scrape out all the flesh inside and save it for later. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, can you close the lid?
Yep.
Close the lid for me.
Ah.
Our pumpkin has cooled. It is easy to handle now. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrape out all of the flesh out of the rind of the pumpkin. I'm gonna put it into the vessel of my blender. I have a Ninja blender. You could use a food processor as well. If you have a small food processor, you could do it in batches. I'm gonna try and get most of it into my blender all at once, and then we're gonna blend it until it's nice and smooth and the consistency that we want to save to turn into pumpkin pies, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin bread, pumpkin anything. So let's get this smoked pumpkin out of the rinds. I'm just gonna use a metal spoon to help me scrape it out. Smoked pumpkin, unlike roasted in the oven, the skin isn't going to pull off super, super easy. So we're actually gonna scrape the flesh out of the rind with the metal spoon. right, this is blended, beautiful consistency. So we'll open it up here. And this looks like a really nice, thick pumpkin puree, exactly what we want. There's really not a lot of water content in the pumpkin since we smoked it. A lot of it came out. So this is going to preserve beautifully. At this point, now that it is pureed into the consistency that we want it to be, you can do whatever you want with this pumpkin. If you have a pressure canner, you can certainly safely can your pumpkin. We unfortunately don't have a pressure canner yet. I'm still convincing Brennan to let me buy one. So we're just gonna freeze ours. So I'm gonna put it probably in like 1 cup increments, put it into a freezer bag, probably from the Food Saver, get as much air out of it as I possibly can. I might try and pull a little bit of a vacuum, but with how much moisture is in this, it's not going to vacuum super well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and freeze our pumpkin, and we can use it whenever we want. So for Thanksgiving, we can make a nice pumpkin pie, some more pumpkin cookies, pumpkin bread, pumpkin soup if we want, pumpkin noodles, pumpkin lasagna, you name it, we can make it with this. Just look at that beautiful smoked pumpkin that we created today, that we turned into this beautiful, luscious pumpkin puree. That's gonna be tasty, turned into some pumpkin cookies and pumpkin pie. I'm so excited to cook with this pumpkin. Tell us in the comments what you want us to film with this nice pureed pumpkin that we smoked today.